As a finance professional in a disrupted business landscape, what does it take to be in demand? What does it take to attract great paying international roles? If you're an ICAN member, it'll just take one exam. That's all it takes to complete the globally recognized SEMA professional qualification and the internationally respected CGMA designation. As a SEMA member and a CGMA designation holder, employers will look at you as a finance professional, constantly acquiring new skills to add value to the business. That's why they'll be willing to pay premium to hire and retain you. If you have 5 years of relevant experience and are an ICAN member, you can directly sit for the final exam of the SEMA Professional Qualification, the Strategic Case Study exam. Start studying the SEMA Professional Qualification. Prepare to make an impact.
Good evening, professional colleagues. Good evening, friends of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Our students, we specially recognize you. Ladies and gentlemen, what an exciting day today when over 3 million of chartered professional accountants are being celebrated globally, noting that this day, the Thursday, 10th day of the month of November, is International Accountant Day, full of excitement to be one of the people to be celebrated today. And for free, I know several one of us across the globe is celebrating today. Those in diaspora, I woke up today with the Canadian conference, celebrated it. Today, all over the country, we organize a walk to celebrate International Accountant Day. And to all our professional accountants, we celebrate you. Over 3 million of us for having this special day to be specially recognized. During the program, we'll definitely bring your way some of the highlights of the activities of today. Our 58th president was out there to give press conference and also to have a walk around our headquarters in Victoria Island. Highlight of that, snippets of it, you will be having as we progress in the program. But for today, I've come with a very topical issue that is very, very deep, and each one of us needs to understand. That is incursion of professionals into mineral exploration. And I have very much with me Mr. Ayedo Fashina, who will be doing justice to the topic today. But it will interest you to have understanding of who Mr. Ayedo Fashina is. He is currently the managing director of Multisat Mining and Exploration PLC, a solid mineral mining company with asset base of over 3 billion naira. He's responsible for the overall management and coordinating of all directorate. He has previously worked as an executive director of Gulf Bank of Nigeria PLC, where he supervised corporate, commercial, investment, and international banking services. He also coordinates marketing function and formulates profit revenue generation strategy. He actually started his career with Mesre, Cooper, and Lebra, chartered accountant. He started from there, moved to EcoBank PLC on financial control desk, worked with the Commercial Trust Bank as a seasoned professional. He's a team fellow, motivator, and goal-getter who obtained a first-class degree in agriculture from Obafemi Awolowo Ile-Ife in 1986 and qualified as a chartered accountant in May 1990 and obtained his master's of banking and finance from University of Lagos in 1994. A fellow of our great institute and also a fellow of Chartered Institute of Taxation. This is our guest for today, a very vast person who are also diversified. That's part of the things we encourage our members to go. The exam that we are equipped with give us the skill to go into diverse area where we can do exploit. And that's the reason why it's been recognized that we should be celebrated today as we mark our International Accounting Day. Let me quickly go on a very small commercial as I pay bills and bring our way some of the snipers before we come into the discussion of today. Stay tuned. I'll be right back shortly. Welcome back, and it is my great pleasure to welcome our guest for today, Mr. Ayedon Fashino. Good evening and welcome to our show, ICAN on AIR, sir.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Oh, awesome. Great to have you on ground today. And let's go straight to the business of today, talking about incursion of professionals into mineral exploration. The gift of mineral resources is often viewed through economic, social, political, or regional prism in Nigeria, depending on who is being spoken to. Our global viewers, like I did in my intro, will be very happy to understand the ABC of this all important subject based on your wealth of experience. In simple terms, sir, I want to ask, what are mineral resources?
Yeah, mineral resources are the precious things that God has put under the earth, and it's not as free to be taken. So you have to do a lot of work. Like the Bible has said, a lot of hidden riches out there, but you have to work to get it out. They are under the earth. They are very precious. There are two things in life. It is either you mine it or you grow it in agriculture. Those are the two things, if you look at it. So the other side of agriculture is mining, which also includes oil exploration too. So that is what mineral resources are. They are all hidden in that, and they're very precious and valuable for everyone to use to improve human lives.
Hidden things provided by God, but that we need to do extra work and if I look at it, I think I'm understanding some things which our
The
viewers too
question
will
is
do.
cracking.
Oh, oh, can you hear me clearly now, sir? Is it better now, sir? Oh, there seems to be a little technical glitch. Guest, can you hear me now, sir?
So I can hear you,
Oh,
but it's not clear. You can hear you. Yes.
okay. Let me try. I speak up a bit. There seems to be a slight technical glitch uh, as regard the pro. Okay, can you hear me very clearly now?
Yes, I can. I can now very
Okay,
clearly.
okay, okay. So let me proceed after having that small intro of what mineral resources is all about. Given your vast knowledge of mineral resources within the Nigerian space, can you please run us through the major mineral resources in Nigeria and their possible regional distributions?
Come again, please. I can't get the question clearly, honestly.
Oh, apology. I said there seems to be different mineral resources span across the nation. Can you please put us through the major natural resources that we have and their possible regional distribution in Nigeria?
Yeah. Yes, the Nigeria is very rich mineral resources, and it's been confirmed that we have over, you know, maybe about 4.
Okay, proceed, sir. There seems to be a small technical glitches, but proceed, sir. Proceed. You're back.
What?
Proceed, sir. Proceed. There seems to be a small technical glitch from that side, but you can proceed with all the natural resources and their geographical spread.
Yeah, mineral resources are not by geographical location; they are by geological location. And
Okay.
Nigeria is blessed with a lot of minerals, right from gold to coal, to lead to zinc to copper, and practically distributed across the country. Okay, depends on where you're coming from. For instance, even Lagos said that you think does not have mineral has across the country. So all we just need to do is locate where the things are. And the easiest way to locate is where you see the artisanal. All the people that are moving around the bush, they see these minerals, and then from there, then there's an indication it does exist below the soil. So that is the first stage that you know that the mineral exists all over. So all over the country. So we have the minerals here and there in Ogun State, in Oyo State, in Katsina, in Maiduguri, and all that. So these minerals exist, but you need to ensure that it does exist in the right quantity before it can be commercially viable.
We must ensure that it's there in the right quantity before you can go into the commercial aspect of it. I want to ask Mr. Fashido, is there a characterization or classification of the Nigerian minerals by their unique physical properties?
No, minerals are not classified in certain properties. Each of the mineral has its own property on its own. Okay. For instance, if you see copper, it's not the brown copper that you see that is the copper that is in the mine site. The copper you see in the mine site is green. Take for instance, it's not the zinc that you see that is ash colored that you see. The one you see at the site at the mining site is gray in color. So it's the identification of mineral is left to the geologists. You understand? We as accountants or as entrepreneurs, we are the one to do, okay, as a factor of production, we say, look, we want to go into this business. We have to know what this, and that. And then we employ the geologists, the mining engineers to do what they have to do. That's the role. You know, it is not by geographical location. No, one mineral, for instance, now you have a lot of gold being discovered in Osun State. The same thing in Kaduna State. There's gold in Kaduna State, so it's located all over. Like I said earlier on, just the work to determine whether it is commercially valuable at a particular point in time.
It is found everywhere, and it is the geologist that actually carries out the in-depth of what those things are. As is just to put the face. And that will take me to this question. But before I ask the question, let me tell our viewers who are connected globally that you have the floor to bring in your question for our guests today. We are talking about incursion of professional into mineral exploration. So let me proceed there, Mr. Fashino. Sir, is it very much possible to assign naira, or let me say dollar, because when you talk of natural resources like that, you might need to bring that. Maybe you had tried possibly assign naira or dollar value to some of these mineral deposits and resources as you purported that they are being endowed with in Nigeria.
Well, you cannot really say this is the amount of dollar that you can see. But in general, I can tell you authoritatively that Nigeria is very rich in mineral. You see, it's just like the oil industry too. You know, as more wells are discovered, then the value of the minerals, the value of the oil reserve of Nigeria increases. Similarly, into the mineral. Yes, you can see the mineral. They are existing, they are there. But there is what we call technical report to tell you that this is exactly the quantity. Now, the mineral does not occur in pure form down there. They occur with impurities. So they determine the quantity of the impurities, the amount of the pure mineral, and then with that, you can multiply by the international price. Every day on the international market price, the price of each mineral does occur. The price of gold, you can check it, the price of zinc, the price of copper. I think copper is about a ton is about $18,000 to $20,000 per ton now. But to get that 20,000, to get that 1 ton, you may need to excavate at least maybe about 10 tons of earth. So you need to separate it. Those are the costs of production. So we cannot at this point in time say this is the value of the mineral that Nigeria has. But the thing is that these minerals occur, we see them, we just need to explore and exploit them. And then that's the way we can give it value.
The country is blessed with diverse mineral resources. Fortunately, we can't place value until we put the separation of some of the particles that are attached to it from what you said. But let me proceed while I await the question of our viewers. There is this African mining vision, AMV. Do we have the Nigeria version of it?
Yes, we do. For instance, just this last week, Nigeria has just concluded this mining week, you know, where the minister, even the president, everybody was there to put ideas together about what is the issues in the Nigerian mining industry, how do we move forward and all that. So all hands are on deck to ensure that, yes, the Nigerian mining is in line with the international, mining world and with its best practices. So what we're saying, yes, it does exist in Nigeria because all attention on mining. You know, last week we invited people all over the world for the Nigerian Mining Week, South Africa, Canada, UK, and all that, so that we can have more knowledge about our minerals.
So it's something that we have our own, and we are promoting it very well. While we still await the question, I proceed by asking this question, and I'm looking at this deliberately, considering the topic, by saying the inclusion of Nigerian professional into exploration space. How will you assess this subject, sir?
Yes, of course, I'm also a professional accountant, an FCA and all that. By our training, we are trained to understand practically everything, the legal, the operations, the cost, revenue, all those management and all that. So there are a lot of things that professionals can do. For instance, once geologists assess the mineral and all that, accountants can also work with them to determine the value. We can put cost to it. We can put revenue to it. Those are the areas. We can also consult about how to get licenses and all that. We can work with government agencies, to assist, in government revenue generation. Because you see, out there are a lot of artisanal mining out there, and government is not capturing those revenue. Those are opportunities for accountants, to come and say, look, I will get this state. Take, for instance, maybe Kaduna State. We're going to visit all the artisanal miners, and then we help government to generate, and then the accountant can make their own money from it. Then also, at the peak of it is what I have done, come into it as an entrepreneur, obtain license, put all factors of production together, and then get into production, because you see, our profession, I must say, is one of the best in the world. I can tell you, there's one of the biggest banks in Nigeria. The success factor, if you ask the founder of that bank, is that the success factor of this bank is because he has employed accountants. And I can also tell you that my employee, my co-workers, my colleague in my company always say that if you have not been an accountant, this company will not be existing, because I'm positioned, I'm trained to know what is cost, what's revenue, what are the regulations, what are the laws, what are these things. Those are the things that our profession provides us for. So it's a very vital area for our professionals to incur into it. But you just have to have the heart of lion. That's it.
Have the art of lion and take the bull by the horn. Sincerely speaking, you've said sweet
Correct.
words about this profession, and that's why we've been celebrated today. But some of the words you said will lead me to this question. Some of the things that you have alluded that our professional, our colleagues can actually delve to. So let's talk briefly about the mineral rights or licenses. What are mineral rights and licenses? What are the types that we have in Nigeria? I'm making it like a three-winged question. What are the processes for obtaining them, and what role do we professional play in all these sites?
Okay, Nigerian mining industry is governed by the Mineral Mining Act of 2007. It lists out there the type of licenses. That's what we call a reconnaissance license. That's the license you can get. You can, with that license, you just have rights to enter a particular area. Supposing, take for instance, if I have to enter Ogun State now for maybe for granite, I will need to take reconnaissance license, right to know and right to enter. If after you have gotten that, then you believe that the mineral is there, then you get what they call exploration license. That gives you the right to take equipment there to be able to determine the quantity, the quality, or whether whether that mineral at that point in time is of commercial value. If you have done that, the government can say, okay, fine. Since you know it's valuable, it's commercially viable and all that, then we give you mining lease. That mining exploration license takes 3 years. You can renew it if you cannot finish. But once you get the mining lease, you can get it for 25 years. Then with that, you can raise money, you can, you can do the business and all that. It is interesting to know that mining has precedence over even CFO. If on your house, I discover gold on it, I get mining lease, according to the law. So it's a business that has been given priority by the Constitution and by the federal government of Nigeria.
It's a business that we have priority, and you have actually break it down: recognizance license, exploration, mining license, and some of those areas. But I need you to speak to it. Which area can our accountant professional accountants, bring to bear their knowledge to either venture into it, taking the bull by the horn and having the lion act like you, or advise their clients, even in line with some of these licenses?
The basic area where the accountant can easily come in is the area of feasibility study. Like I've just
Okay.
said, most of that profession, even are not equipped enough to be able to design. I mean, to be able to see the behind the figures, to see what's cost, what's this and that. Before you move from exploration and start looking for money from banks and all that, you need to have what they call feasibility studies. And we know that accountants are equipped for that. So, you can always, I mean, professionals like us can go to what are the who has obtained license. Do you need to write feasibility study? Do you need to put budget? Do you need to do cost income analysis, variance, and all those things? That's the first stage that accountants can come in. Okay, because a lot of
Yeah.
people have licenses out there, they don't even know what to do with it. Okay, accountants too are also positioned to source for money, because the only thing we know how to do is naira and kobo. Okay, you're able to say, okay, this thing is feasible. Then you assist your customers to get to get fund, advise them and all that. If then you want to do it yourself, all those services you don't you don't pay for it, you do it for yourself, and then you employ other professional geologists and all that to come and do the work for you. So it's as simple as that. There are so many areas. Government is looking for revenue all over, and I've just mentioned that a lot of miners out there are not even paying royalty to government. So accountant can come in, government can empower you, say, look, collect the revenue for me, I will pay you. So those are the areas that government can our profession can be useful.
Very, very deep. Get out feasibility studies for some of these companies. Source for fund. Get, government to assist government in raising revenue. I have a question from Abdul Kadri, and he's asking: is it mandatory for an individual to obtain mining license for mining discovered on his acquired land?
Let Abdulkadir understand that the land, first of all, land belongs to government. All minerals in it belongs to federal government of Nigeria. As a matter of fact, you have no right to touch any mineral without approval of government. It's very, very important. It's not we acquire land. Yes, maybe you acquire by CFO. And my earlier presentation, I've said that the Money Act takes precedence over certificate of occupancy. So even if it's your house, you have mineral there, somebody else has mining lease over it. That's the person that has the mineral, not you.
Mining lease taking precedence over CFO. So I'm sure Abdul Kadri can say that if you discover any natural resources, it's better you ignore the CFO and run after the Mining Act so that you can have access to those things as professional. Omotayo Abe is asking this question: what is the process of going into mining resources without doing illegal dealing in Nigeria as of today, dispensation, and the legal implication for mining exploration?
Yeah, Motayo, it's very easy and simple. I can say it least cost to get mining license. All you just need to do is go to Abuja, or they have an office in six biological zones to obtain your license. Very cheap, with as low as 100,000, you can get a mining reconnaissance or exploration license. It's very simple, it's very cheap. It is better to obtain the license and do any illegal dealing, because the government will be after you. All minerals belong to government. Once you take it, you need to pay royalty on it.
All resources belongs to government, and I'm sure Omotaya Abe has picked that question. You don't need to do it illegally. We've heard from the horses, but based on his experience, with 100,000, you can get exploration, reconnaissance license, or even exploration, provided you are ready to go. So we do that. You do that legally and legally. I've been guesting Mr. Ayedon Fashida, talking on incursion of professional into mineral resources. And sincerely speaking, like I mentioned to you, I need to pay some bills, get some commercial, and even give you a snippet of our activities of today, celebrating International Accounting Day. So, my guest, Mr. Fashida, permit me, I'll go on a very short break. And when we come back, we continue doing justice to the question of today. On this note, stay tuned. I'll be right back shortly.
Today marks a special day, the International Accounting Day 2022, for the recognition of professional chartered accountants and our positive impact on global growth and development. With over 3 million chartered accountants around the world, we do not just keep businesses moving, we are an integral part of the creation of safe and secure financial systems. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria has over 56,000 members, all keeping the flag of the profession flying. We remain a respected voice, it's a body, and all of you, my professional colleagues, are worthy ambassadors in every sector of the economy. Let's keep up the good job. Let's keep changing the face of businesses. Let's keep being the conscience of society. Let's keep saving the world, because only chartered accountants could save the world. I wish you all happy International Accounting Day.
Accounting has been my life. The trainings we get as an accountant actually instills discipline, courage, and ingenuity in whatever we do. And the trainings we get as chartered accountants actually makes the difference in whatever we do. As chartered accountants, we're expected to operate and do all our things in the public interest.
Welcome back, and that's just a word from the 58th president of our great institute, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, charging us to be good ambassadors wherever we are, knowing fully well that it's accountant that will save the world. So you've added in every span of businesses where we are, knowing fully well that we are equipped, just like my guest said, that we are equipped to do exploit in every facet you see yourself. It will be shocking when you see a chartered accountant performing excellently well as a miner in Nigeria. We've had a lot of people in the exploration angle, in the power sector, in all other base that you can talk about. So please take the charge and be a good ambassador of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, who pride itself with integrity and accuracy. Mr. Fashino, you're welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, let me start by taking Femi Adeoye's question before I go back to mine. Presently, he's saying, is royalty from mining lease part of Federation account revenue? If yes, what is the percentage contribution to Federation revenue account?
Well, of course, royalty is part of Federation account revenue. What percentage I cannot say now. I don't know the percentage. I cannot say that, but it's part of Federation account revenue.
Part of the Federation account revenue, and definitely we can research more into it, because like you heard from our guest, every natural resources that you see under the ground belongs to the government, and you are expected to pay such royalty. We'll proceed further, sir. Mr. Fashida, can you educate our viewers on the Nigeria Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative and its roles as it is? Can you hear me, sir?
Come again, please.
Okay, there seems to be a slight interference. I said, can you educate us on the Nigeria Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, NEITI, and its roles?
Okay, about 2003, there is a World Extractive Transparent Industry General Era, and Nigeria was part of it. However, in 2007, the NEITI, Nigeria Extractive Industry Transparent Initiative Act was passed. The essence of that is to be able to, for the organization, it's now organization headed by executive secretary, to be able to monitor revenue from operators in mining and oil and gas industry, and also to monitor the revenue earned by the government, and to ensure that those revenue from mineral resources are justifiably utilized. So they carry out something like audit, of mineral companies, oil companies, and also the utilization of how those money get into the federation account, and also the utilization, because the essence of the transparent initiative is that the mineral resources of a country should be justifiably used for the benefit of the citizen. That's essentially the basis for that NEITI. So they are not to witch hunt anybody, but they are to see how accountable operators and even government accountable in terms of the revenue from that industry. So they every year they carry out audit. They even carry a process, like in the oil industry now. They check their meters, whether the meter of the flow is correct, because 1,000 liter can flow and the meter can say it's 10,000. Those are the things that NEITI needs to do. For those of us in mineral resources, they check our weight, they check our, just to ensure that that's transparent, that everybody is transparent in the industry, and then report finally to government and also to the citizen. Summarily, that's what NEITI is about.
Oh, so NEITI is to monitor revenue, and you say one value thing,
Monitor operation
justify,
too.
monitors operation, monitor revenue, and justify the utilization of the revenue. You've explained further to us to say they carry out audit, monitor the processes. The key thing is for transparency, and I want to believe that they are carrying out. As we proceed, based on your practical knowledge and experience, is it possible to give us some data on the quantitative contribution of the Nigeria mineral resources to the growth of the Nigeria gross domestic product? I mean the GDP. Can we get figures to support this?
Yeah, I'm sure in the early 50s and all that, Nigerian mineral resources used to be the mainstay of the economy, where the contribution to GDP was over 50 to 60% of the GDP. But over time, it's reduced southwards to about 1% as at 2005, 2006. But with the enactment of the Mining Act in 2007, it gives confidence to every participant in the industry that at least that's the legislation. I can even tell you that all over the world, Nigerian mining law is as perfect as any other country. So it gives some kind of confidence. So people now move into the mining. International participants also came and start finding out. World Bank also put a lot of encouragement into it and said, look, we know that Nigeria has a lot of mining resources. This thing has to be done. So let's encourage. So with that act, things start moving on. But I think by now, maybe up to 5%. I mean, it's growing, I can say, about 5%. But I think the objective is to raise as much as 10 to 20%.
It's pretty low as we speak. But with the act of 2007, the confidence is being restored into investors. And that we are saying that is coming out from the crash of 1% to about 5%. Shuaib wants to understand that what are the provisions in the law to take care of host community after the government takes over the mineral resources?
Yeah, before the government gives you mining lease, you have to have what we call community agreement. You have to state what you do for the community, what you are going to do from the revenue, the infrastructural development, all those things you need to do. The government will not just give you mining list because, of course, the mineral belongs to government, but they will not give an individual just go and, be mining in such a manner. So there are rules and regulations, what you must do with the community, the role of the community, and all that, the development. If your community development agreement is not approved, you cannot get your mining lease. Even your mine operation can be closed down. So it is important that community agreement is gotten, and then along that you also implement it, because if the community goes back to federal government to say, look, what you have said in your community agreement, you are not doing it, they will is a condition for revocation of the mining lease. So no serious miner will neglect the community according to the law. So it's important government takes care of the community, and it's even safer. My advice that if you want to go into mining, let the community part of that project. Nothing will happen to your project. That's in turbulent countries and all that, maybe Congo and all that. No matter what's happening in those countries, nothing happened to the miners. They continue to mine because the community are part of the project. So it's only the greedy ones that will have problems. If you are not greedy, you mine easily.
There is an agreement between the intended miner and the community, and that's one of the prerequisites before the license is being issued out, at least to protect the community assistance with them. As I proceed, I have this question for you, sir. Despite the huge and many deposits of mineral resources in Nigeria, Nigeria is allegedly being viewed by many as a risky and difficult investment destination. Why do you think this is so?
Well, if I hear very well that Nigeria is categorized as a mining risk area, yes, that's what we call country risk in that's affecting all problems in Nigeria. It's not only mining, you understand? It's not only mining. It is. I can tell you that one of the industry that Nigeria has gotten right is banking industry. We are just developing into the mining industry. And I'm sure, and even all other people around the world knows that once Nigeria gets into any business and they perfect it, we don't need anybody. So let anybody say Nigeria mining industry is risky. Yes, we're going into it by ourselves and all that. All we just need to do is that the capital needed for mine development must be made available in Nigeria. The banking industry are running away from financing banking. But there are other ways, because mining requires long-term money, requires patient capital. So I will not say commercial banks should go and finance mining, no. But we should put heads together in order to put structure in which long-term finance can be available for mining. That's all.
And that would take me to this question that there seems to be some challenges roving around exploration in Nigeria today. I mean, considering mining, can you just state us, as you just mentioned one, talking about financing? Can you run us through some of these challenges that is confronting exploration in Nigeria? Oh, okay. You're welcome back, sir. You're welcome back, sir. I'm just trying to state that you just mentioned one of the challenges, and I want you to run us through some other challenges that is confronting the mining exploration in Nigeria today, aside the funding that you just mentioned.
Yeah, aside from funding, then there are issues of infrastructure.
Okay.
A lot of the minerals are bulk. Take for instance, there is large deposit of iron, even in Abuja. Okay, but you need rail coaches to transport it to the port. I was in Sierra Leone. What they did is that they had a large pipe, like the oil pipe, taken to the northern Sierra Leone, and then they make the iron into florey. Once they mine it, they florey it, and then they flow it straight to the ship in the ocean. That's how they export their iron in Sierra Leone. So, but no individual can invest that much money, for infrastructure. So, if you take that for instance, even the iron deposits in Nigeria can be bigger than any country in Africa. But how do we take it out? How do you process it? How do you take it? How do you get value for it? So infrastructures at roads to mine sites and all that needs some attention.
So we talk about infrastructure deficit, which is actually affecting the growth of mining. Badmos also want to know that what do you think the government or Nigerians can do to stop or reduce this theft of mineral resources?
Yeah, some times ago, the government have started making effort. They have instituted what they call the mine police, okay, which is a special arm of the Nigerian police. They are focusing on mine areas, to go and investigate if their minerals have been, lost, this and that. And also, NSDC, Nigeria Civil Defense,
Civil defense.
yes, they are part of their function to ensure that minerals are not stolen away from this country. Also, at the port, gold is very precious and very small. At the ports too, the customs and everybody are making effort, and EFCC too, making effort that minerals are not stolen away from this country. Because if anybody is caught, I mean, they will face the wrath of the law. So a lot of efforts are being done to ensure that minerals are not stolen away from this country. But again, much effort still has to be done because to catch a thief, you have to know the ways they do it.
To catch a thief, you must know how they do it. And that will take me to this question. Seem to have a slight similarity. That, sincerely speaking, across, we understand there are serious corruption. And there is this alleged corruption in the Nigerian extractive industry, despite having professionals there. Based on your practical experience, is this true? And most of these allegations, how can professionals like us assist in providing solution to the menace called corruption in the mining, considering that it's just growing?
Yeah, I think one can say with certainty the level of corruption, but one thing I know is that correct payment of royalties to federal government needs to be monitored. You see, for every mineral, government has gotten a rate that okay, for this is tonnage, for this is tonnage, for this is tonnage. If it is raw, they have a rate, royalty rate. If it's processed, they have a royalty rate. Do you understand? So where we professionals, accountants can come in is that instead of monitoring, like I said earlier on, okay, if you produce 20 tons of coal, okay, if government says royalty on a ton of coal, 40,000.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
and
go
those
ahead.
one getting paid, that's the area in which accountants can help government. The government at the mining cadastral office, they have the list of licenses. Okay, accountants can go to the mining cadastral and say, look, you have the list of these licenses. Okay, I want to monitor revenue from those licenses. It's as simple as that. Then you employ maybe one or two people, go to this side, monitor what they are doing. Are they paying correct royalty? If not, then the difference between what they are paying and what is supposed to be paid to government, you can add your commission on it as a professional because you have increased government revenue. It's a simple thing, So the issue of corruption exists where there is no monitoring and where there is collusion or whatever. So the idea is to break that collusion wherever it exists and then you eliminate it. That's simple as that.
So there is a lot for us as professionals to do in monitoring some of these activities in such a way that we can improve the revenue base of the government. And from there, we'll make our token, breaking the collusion and having an increase goal. Sincerely speaking, it's been awesome time having Mr. Fashino on this show. But in closing, sir, ICANN is always open to ideas that will positively advance the growth of our members, the accounting profession, and the Nigerian business environment. This we take with key interest. What would be your general advice and suggestion to members regarding the incursion of professional into exploration in Nigeria?
All I can say is that I can tell you that there are tremendous opportunities in the mining sector. A lot are unknown, a lot. The potential is just so high. You see, sometimes there's a common thing and that people are Japan or something like that people are leaving the country. It's laughable because as you are leaving, the Chinese are coming in. The Indians are coming in. Everybody's coming in. You see, one Indian said, Nigerian street is lined with gold. But we as Nigerians, we don't see it. Do you understand? My experiences in the mine area is that those of us maybe in Lagos and all, we don't know that a lot of money is being made out there. A young man can go to an artisanal mine site. He can make at least 20,000-25,000 naira on daily basis. I've seen them. That's what they do. 35,000 naira times 30. That's almost 800,000 naira monthly. It's as simple as that. With little processing, with our education, we can improve that. So if an uneducated person is getting about 800, you can get $1 million plus, even on a monthly basis. So what are you going to do out there? When you are Japan out, people are Japan in. So opportunity exists in the mining. The oil industry needs a lot of money, but in mining, you can go, like I said, with 100,000, you can start something. The bigger, the more you are in it, the more experience you are, then you become a big boy. So that's where I see it. So that's my opinion. Opportunities are there, so many areas, and then we can professional can benefit.
A great opportunity is out there for our professionals. It's just for us to get involved with this business. And like you're saying, as they are Japmine, then you are Japmine. You are Japmine out, you are Japmine. That's another vocabulary I'm building into my dictionary. But it's an encouragement that we need not to go anywhere, but believe in our nation because we are blessed and endowed with lot of material. It's been my pleasure to guest Mr. Ayedon Fashida, FCA, who is the Managing Director of MITSAP. And we sincerely appreciate your time with us this evening on ICAN on Air. It's been a very educative and expository time to expose us to see those core areas where we as professionals needs to delve into. Most especially telling us that with 100,000 people can obtain licenses to venture into mining, not like the other side. Thank you very much, and I want to believe that when next we call on you, you will definitely avail us your time, sir. On that note, we have come to the end of ICAN on Air this day, Thursday, the 10th day of the month of November. Coincidentally, it's a day of celebration, day of jubilation, and you've heard from the 58th ICAN president telling us that we should be good ambassador of the institute wherever we find ourselves, knowing fully well that accountants are the life wire of every businesses. Accountants are strategically needed in governance. Accountants are well positioned to transform the fortune of this country. And I want to believe that each and every one of us is well positioned to do this, to represent our great institute and the profession that we are into. But before I go, let me give out this announcement that the portal is open for the fellowship conferment. We encourage each and every one of us who are yet to be fellow of the institute to plug in and do that. Also, the World Congress of Accountants is coming up 18th of November in Mumbai, India. We encourage every one of us to get engaged, get connected, so that we'll be there to discuss things that border around our profession. On this note, we have come to the end of the show for this week. I want to tell you that please encourage someone to tune in. Like our social media handle, the Facebook, the YouTube, the Instagram, the Twitter page, and all this will give you a notification every Tuesday and Thursday when the program will be coming up. I promise you that every Tuesday and Thursday, we will always give you an exciting topic that will add to the knowledge base as a professional. On this note, congratulations once again. Until I see you next week, Tuesday, I remain your host, Olusegun Okwade, FCA. Bye for now.